Been held up, and I've had enough of it, and I hope you have too. We would immediately recognize every single overseas same-sex marriage. Why should you get married overseas and come back here and have no rights? What is the point of that? So first of all, we can do that with a legislative bill. You don't need a plebiscite, and you don't need anything else other than just saying, yes, I believe in that and I support that. So we can do that tomorrow. We can do that as soon as the Parliament sits. Now, this thing about marriage equality and same-sex marriage. Marriage equality can be achieved next week in your House of Representatives in Canberra if those goddamn politicians got off their butts and listened to you. Now, we would have it next week if those 4 people in Western Australia and several other people around the country actually paid attention to us and showed some compassion and some integrity. That's not asking too much. In the meantime, the Greens will continue to push for state same-sex marriage laws. Now, these fall short. They do not include trans people because right now the law in the federal parliament prohibits that. We can't quite work out how to make that happen, but we are working on that. But at a state level, every single Green in state parliament across Australia has a same-sex marriage bill. And when you see my ad out in Perth, that's what it's about, that same-sex marriage bill in Western Australia. And I will move that forward the day after the federal bill falls down, if it does. So for us, it's not a matter of conscience and it's not a matter of a free vote. It is a matter of principle. We deserve equal rights. The Greens will vote for equal marriage. Every MP, every vote, every time.
Thank you, Lynn McLaren. And next to the Greens. We also invited to speak here today Sue Lyons from the Labor Party. Lynn wasn't the only politician we invited. Unfortunately, Sue was unable to make it today, but she did want to speak. But yeah. Whether the bill this week, whether the cross-party bill goes up or down, we're going to keep fighting, right? We keep fighting. Keep fighting until we win. And then when we win, we keep fighting because until we win more things. And we win and we win and we win and we fight and we win and we fight and we win and we just keep fighting and we just keep winning. Put the bill, pass the bill. Pass the bill. Put the bill, pass the bill. Put the bill, pass the bill. Next up, we have Miranda Wood. Miranda is a long-term activist from Equal Love WA. She's also been involved in anti-racist activism around Perth. Recently, Sam Cavallaro, who's been co-chairing with me, has been subjected to some quite serious police harassment, and we in Equal Love decided we want to stand up for Sam because this isn't fair. Sam has done the hard yards for the queer community. He's really put in a lot of work, and we should stand up for him.
Hi guys, my name's Miranda Wood and I'm from United Against Bigotry and Racism. As Farrah said, we're a campaign group that fights against anti-Muslim racism, anti-migrant racism, and particularly against Reclaim Australia, who, if you don't know, are some pretty disgusting far-right anti-Muslim campaign group, and have also revealed themselves to be wildly homophobic, and so that's what we stand against. But yeah, as Farrah said, I'm here today to talk about another problem that actually still faces the LGBTI community, and that is the problem of police brutality and of targeting particularly those prominent queer activists like Equal Love's convener Sam Cavallaro, who are constantly targeted because they're queer. Now, Sam came to a United Against Bigotry and Racism rally just a couple of weeks ago and was singled out of the crowd was dragged across the road, had his face pushed into the concrete, and was given a move-on notice. And that's all because he is a prominent queer activist. And I think this is absolutely disgusting. But this is not actually an isolated problem. People in the LGBTI community still face this kind of vilification and intimidation every day. And I think it's actually part of a broader attack, not just on the queer community, on LGBTI rallies and events, but also more broadly on protesting and protest politics. And I just want people to reflect on the fact that we're actually gathered here today, the very fact that we're all here in Forest Chase and we can be here, set up our microphones, listen to speeches, hug our partners and wear our rainbow colours with pride. Now this has been a hard-fought slog and this has actually been a reflection of the intransigence and the strength of the equal marriage campaign during the last 11 years. We started out here in Perth having picnics in the park and then we graduated into having small protests, and then we graduated having bigger protests, and we graduated to having sound systems and speakers and politicians and what have you. But again, this has been fought for. We've had to fight against the city of Perth, who have routinely denied us a place to rally. Up until a couple of years ago, we used to pass a bucket around these rallies, and we would collect hundreds of dollars in donations, and we would have to... Sorry, I just lost my tongue ring. We would have to put all of that money straight into the pockets of City of Perth just to have our freedom of speech and our democratic right to gather in public places to say we want marriage equality. But we refuse to do that now, and we will gather and we will assert our democratic right to protest without a permit, without $800 worth of fees, because actually that's what it's going to take to get equal marriage passed in this country. But as I said before, it isn't just us, it isn't just the LGBTI community or Equal Love. It's happened to anti-racist activists, it's happened to student activists, and just a couple of months ago when some Aboriginal activists who were protesting against the disgraceful closure of remote communities were collecting petitions right here in Forest Chase, they were brutalised by the police and shut down and taken to the lockup. And I think how absolutely racist and disgraceful that is. And so we want to stand in solidarity, not just with other activists, but with the queer community, with all the people who come out to these protests every time, who always come out to support us, who always bring their placards, bring their rainbow colours. We need to stand together. Because actually, when we fight for our own rights, when we insist on gathering in public places, on using our PA systems, on marching on the road, we strengthen the rights of others and we strengthen the struggle of other people who are fighting for their rights. We never got anywhere as a community by sitting down and shutting up and doing what we were told to do. We got where we are today by fighting. And it's every act of rebellion that we undertake. It's those individual small acts of rebellion, like coming out to your parents or coming out to your family or to your workmates. And it's bigger acts of rebellion, like saying we will gather and we will protest and we don't give a damn what you think of us. And so I think we need to keep fighting, we need to keep asserting our rights, whether these bills pass, whether we can convince these backwards politicians to actually give a damn about our struggle. We need to keep fighting, whatever the outcome. Because I think as the old trade union saying goes, if you don't fight, you lose. But if you do fight, you can win. And fuck's sake, we're going to win this. So who here is going to pledge to keep fighting along with us? Let me hear you. I just want to do a bit of one of my favourite chants, just to get us in a bit of a chanting spirit for the march. We've still got another speaker to go, but do people know this chant? It goes 1, 2, 3, 4, smash the homophobic law, 5, 6, 7, 8. How do you know your kids are straight? Why don't we practice it a little bit? 1, 2, 3, 4, smash the homophobic law, 5, 6, 7, 8.
How do you know your kids are straight?
1, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Fight
5, 6, 7, 8.
How do you know your kids are straight?
Thanks so much, guys.